Hey guys, Hairbow Master here with another great tutorial for you. Today we're going to be making a rose made out of satin fabric. We're going to need 8 pieces of satin fabric that is measured 4 inches by 4 inches. We'll also need 2 pieces of felt, matching felt, that's about 2 by 2. Some matching thread and a needle. I like to use embroidery thread because it's thicker and it holds things together easier. And then an embellishment for the center. What I've got here is just a small little center that looks like beads. But you can use any kind of center that you want. You can use gems or whatever else you want to use. Okay, we'll need a pair of scissors and we'll also need a lighter and a hot glue gun. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to start out with cutting out our petals from our squares here. Let me go ahead and clear my workspace here. Now this is a really easy flower to make, and I like it for beginners because of how easy it is to make. It's just a couple of simple steps. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to take our squares, and we're going to do this the same for all of them. We're going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And then we're going to fold it in half this way to where you have all the closed sides right here. There should be 3. There should be 1 on this side, and then at the top is going to be a bunch of open parts, and then at the bottom everything comes together at a point. So making sure that your point side is down and your open parts are up, we're going to start cutting about right here and cut a half circle right across here. So let's go ahead and take our scissors, and we're going to start from about here, go up and around and back down like that. Now we have a nice little petal shape like this, okay? And when you open it up, it looks like there's 4 hearts stuck together. Let's do that same thing for all of our other squares, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that we've got all of our squares cut out, we're going to take our lighter and seal the ends. We're just going to run our lighter very gently across all of these rounded parts all the way around, and that way it doesn't fray. And if you have satin fabric, it should melt perfectly and not catch on fire. So you might want to test your fabric just to make sure that you have the correct fabric. Most of the satins are a polyester base, which is exactly what you want because polyester melts nicely. And if you see that, you know, they're not perfectly even, it's okay. Don't worry about it, because flowers are imperfect in nature, so we're not going for perfection here. And if they kind of curl up a little bit, that's okay too. It'll just give it a better dynamic. So just go ahead and very quickly go around, and you'll want to use the blue part of the flame where it's hotter rather than the top part of the flame, because the top part could leave black marks around your fabric and you definitely don't want that. So go ahead and do this to every single one of your squares that we've cut into petals, and then when you're done we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that we've sealed all the edges of our fabric, we're going to take each of these petals and go ahead and get your needle and thread out and put a little knot at the end. We're going to leave a little bit of a tail so we can easily grab it at the end and tie the ends together, but put a knot there just in case so these don't slip off. Okay, we're going to take our satin fabric. We've got a shiny side and we've got a dull side. We want the dull side up, and you want to set it to where you have 2 and 2 top and bottom and 2 and 2 side to side. What we're going to do is we're going to fold it up in half like this, fold it over in half like this. where we look like we've got hearts now. And then we're going to take this bottom part and fold it up in the front, and this bottom part and fold it back and up in the back there. So what you should have now is 1, 2, 3 on this side and 2 folds on this side. With the 3 folds up, we're going to take our needle and thread and we're going to stick it right through the center part right here, up about maybe 1/4 of an inch, making sure you catch every single one of those folds. And leaving a little bit of a tail at the end, just go ahead and put it on the thread like that, and then do the same with all the rest of them. Okay, now that we've got all of our petals on our thread, make sure they're all pointing the same way, and then go ahead and take this around and tie it. And when you tie it, make sure your points are all on the same side. So go ahead and take your thread and tie this together. Give it a couple of good knots, and then trim that off. Okay, now we're going to open up this center part here, and if any of the pieces are, the points are on the other side, just kind of pull them back. Okay, so open it up, and right here in the center is where we're going to put our embellishment. So get your glue gun and hold that open very carefully. Take your glue gun and put a drop of glue right in the center, and take your embellishment and stick it right on the glue dot. Okay, that's going to be our center. Now what we're going to want to do is go back through and open up all of your petals. So go through each petal and just kind of open them up, just like this. And once you have all the petals opened up, we're going to go ahead and put our felt backing on. There we go. That gives it a nice fluffy flower look. Okay. Alright, now we're going to take our felt and we're going to cut a circle that's about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. Go ahead and cut a nice circle there. And we're going to glue this to the back part of our rose. So get your glue gun and go ahead and glue this on the back. Like that. Okay, now depending on what backing you want to use, we're going to use another piece of felt here to put over our backing. Now if you're putting it on a headband, soft or hard, you can just go ahead and glue it to the headband at this point. I'm going to be using a French clip for mine, and it's a little bit smaller, so I'm going to take it apart and glue this to the back. Put a little bit of glue on that. And where this part is right in the center here, I want to put another piece of felt over that, so that way we make sure that doesn't come off very easily. So cut a smaller circle, just small enough to go over the center of whatever backing you're using. And let me get another glue stick. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit of glue around this center circle and stick that right over top of our clip. And then you can just pull off any of these little glue pieces That's the only bad thing about hot glue, is sometimes you get these little glue pieces that are everywhere. Okay, so you can just pull those off. So as you can see, it's covering our clip, and then we could just put it back together. Just like that. And now we have got a very simple rose hair bow. Nice satin, shiny, and very nice to wear for any kind of formal setting. And you can make these out of any kind of fabric. You can make them out of blue jean, you can make them out of cottons. If you do use cottons, anything other than satin, since you can melt the edges of the satin, if you use anything else, go ahead and leave the ends raw. And it'll still give it kind of that shabby chic look, so it'll still look really pretty. But there you go. Nice and simple. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more videos yet to come, so keep an eye out for new videos. And go to our Facebook page and go ahead and like that. It's facebook.com/thehairbowmaster. All right, thank you for joining me today.